Um, well, welcome to phone procedures, telephone procedures. I do have this titled Phone Mastery in Getting the Commitment, but we do go over basic telephone procedures on this one. So, and again, you can see the screen okay, I'm assuming, and hear me okay.
Yep, all good.
Perfect. Here we go. All right. So, um, here we're going to talk about what each phone can actually cost, you being the store. So the phone system itself, actual physical phones sitting on the counter. I've gotten a number of quotes throughout the country, and they can be anywhere from $1,000 for the system all the way up to 11 grand for a telephone system to sit on counters and be utilized. So that's definitely a cost. The marketing monthly cost. Our stores spend anywhere from 10 to 20 to $30,000 on marketing, and that cost has to be recuperated. The monthly phone service plan, I mean, shoot, if you look at a personal phone service plan that's upwards of $500 sometimes, just imagine putting commercial phone plan in front of that. So that's massive amounts of money. And then our national ticket average at $339. So what we're getting at here is, what can each phone call actually cost your store? That might be over $400 per call on average. We're talking about if you miss a phone call, you can miss that national ticket average. You can miss making up that monthly service plan, miss that marketing monthly cost, as well as recuperating that phone service. So we've got to keep that in the back of our mind, that every time that phone rings, it's not just trying to get a customer in, it's trying to recuperate costs. So let's do some simple math here. If we have 30 phone calls from customers a day, we're open 310 days a year. That means we're going to get 9,300 phone calls in 1 year. Now, if we were able to turn 30% of those phone calls into actual customers walking in our door, we're going to see a good 2,790 customers walking in through our door. Now, let's say we were able to improve our phone skills by just a little bit. We're talking 10%. So we're now converting 40% of our customers. That is an additional 930 customers coming in. With that extra 930 customers, if our ticket average is $325, our additional improvement could potentially be $302,000 over the course of a year. That's a whole lot of money. I mean, shoot, for some of our stores, that's a whole nother month of business. But let's break that down just a little bit. $300,000 over a course of a year. Well, as salespeople, we're not looking at a course of a year. We're looking at today. What happens today? Well, let's break it down. That truly only means that's 3 more phone calls per day. So if you have 3 counter people at your store, that's only 1 more phone call conversion per day. That's all we have to do. So how do we get there? That's what we're talking about today. How do we get that 1 more caller to come into our store? Here's the secret sauce. Here's the money. Drum roll, rings to swings. It can be that simple. When that phone rings, let's hope that door swings. If we did it right on the phone, that door's going to swing with a customer coming into our store. So what's some things that we can do? Well, it all starts with preparation. Be prepared. Have a pen, have paper sitting right next to you so you can take notes as you answer this phone call. Try and get to that phone call within 3 rings. Think about when you're on the phone and you hear that 3rd ring and then you hear that 4th ring. How does that start making you feel? Think about that as that phone rings on your desk. Smile. We all know that you can hear a smile. Let's make sure it shows through the phone. Let that customer on the other end know you're excited to be at work. In fact, I don't know how many of us know this, but Big O is actually an acronym, and it stands for Better Image, Greater Opportunity. So if we think about that, what image are we giving to that customer on the other end of the line? They can't see us, but they're painting an image in their mind about what we are. Make sure it's a great image so we can get that better opportunity. And then end the greeting with your name. A simple, simple greeting. Thank you for choosing Big O Tires and Service. This is Ty. And that's it. Just end it there. And there's a couple of philosophies behind that. Number one, if you end with their name, that customer is going to remember your name. And then they're going to come in asking for you, which means you're already building that rapport, which makes step number one of the 5 steps to a sale that much easier. And two, people have a tendency, if you lead with their name, they lead with theirs. 80% of the time, it works. I'd say 80% of the time. I found it's highly effective, and I capture our customers' names when I end with mine. So grab that customer's name. And then remember, you have that pen and paper ready and available. Write it down, and then you can utilize it throughout the customer's call. The entire call, you can call them by their name. What a great way to build rapport. All right, so let's say a customer's calling in for tires. Well, we got to determine the customer's tire size. And I've heard it time and time and time again. All right, Jim, do you know what size tire you have? I'm going to ask you all, you're probably going to shake your head, that I'd say 15% of our customers know their tire size. So why are we asking a customer their tire size? If 85% of them have no idea what we're talking about, or they tell us, oh yeah, it's a 265 R17. Tell me I'm wrong. Let's look it up for them. In fact, we have a great tool right in our system to look it up for them. I'm sure y'all have seen this screen before. Look it up for them. There on the right-hand side of the screen. Year, make, and model. Hey, Mr. Customer, do you know the year, make, and model of your vehicle? If they know the tire size, the cool thing is they're going to tell you the tire size. But again, 85% don't know what their tire size is, so we're already one step ahead. We can look it up by year, make, and model. Oh, and by the way, submodel sometimes plays a part. I wouldn't worry about asking them their submodel, because if it shows submodel in 15 different sizes, guess what we can do? Remember the slogan, rings to swings. Invite them into the store. Oh man, I'm showing 15 different tire sizes for you. Tell you what, why don't you come on down to the store? We'll get the right tire size off of your vehicle, and we'll find a tire that meets your needs and your budget. How does that sound? Let's get them down to the store. Rule number 1, invite them into the store. There's a lot of other cool features on this page, but looking up a customer's tire size is effective. Okay. Always quote as low as. All right. So we have competitors. If we start quoting higher priced tires than our competitors, our customers are probably going to go to them. We're pricing ourselves out of the market. So look, Ty, you got tires in my size. Absolutely, I got tires in your size. I have tires starting as low as $49.99. How does that sound? Well, dang, that sounds pretty good. I haven't seen anything in that low of price. All right, well, tell you what, why don't you come on down? Let's get the size off your vehicle. Make sure we have what you have, what you need. We'll get a good price for you. We'll get them installed today. How's that sound? Invite them into the store. It's my philosophy. They ask a question, we answer the question, invite them into the store. If they ask another question, let's answer that other question, and then invite them into the store again. And ask a question, invite them into the store. Don't forget, you can always inform them about financing options. 46% of our customers can't afford a $1,000 repair. Let's provide that option. to afford the tires. What if they need oil, though? It's probably the number 2 reason that customers call us. Well, once again, lowest price. Hey, we have oil changes starting as low as $29.99. How's that sound? Oh, that's competitive with everywhere else. You know what is also cool is not only will we change your oil, we'll also do a complimentary vehicle inspection to make sure your entire vehicle is good to go. We also have a comfortable waiting area. Or if you're not waiting here, if you have shuttle service, you can provide shuttle service for that customer. Let's build some value in doing business with Big O. It's not really about the products and the services we have. It's about doing business with you, the man or woman standing behind the counter, ready to help that customer, because that's what we're here for, is helping them. But we can't help them if they're not in the store. So remember, invite them into the store. How does that sound? You may have heard me say that a number of times. It's a great question, probing question. What is the customer thinking? Where are they at? It's a great way to see. And remember, we answer the phone to sell the visit, not those services. Okay? Don't get bogged down with those details on, do you require full synthetic? Do you require diesel oil? If the customer knows that information, they're going to tell you right off the bat. Think about it this way. If the customer's coming in with a 2013 Dodge Ram with a 6.7 Cummins, they're not calling asking, hey, how much is an oil change? Chances are they already know. The question they typically ask is, hey, do you work on diesels? Can you do an oil change on a diesel? Can you replace my fuel filters? Can you replace my air filter? Those are the questions. So remember, listen to your customer and invite them into the store. All right, what about repairs? It's crazy. When it comes to repairs, we're actually really, really good at just inviting a customer into the store. Think about the last time someone called on brakes. He probably said, hey, look, we do a free complimentary brake inspections. Why don't you just bring your vehicle down? We'll check it out. Now, sometimes they say, well, my mechanic said I need pads and rotors. Awesome. Well, tell you what, we do complimentary inspection. Our brakes start at, some of you do 169 per axle. Customer doesn't hear that, though. They hear 169. But what if their mechanic told them both axles? Let's just make sure we identify that customer, that reason the customer's calling, and invite them into the store. You can always use open-ended questions to verify what they're talking about. And again, financing options are always available. Brake repairs, AC repairs, transmission fluid exchanges, alignments. I mean, it's all expensive stuff. Financing can help customers get them paid for. And ask for the appointment. Appointments can help you manage your day to get the most business possible. Appointments are not a bad thing. It's all about managing those appointments. So before ending the call, repeat the appointment date and time if you set an appointment with that customer. And if anything changes, by the way, Mr. Customer, if anything changes on your end, tell you what, why don't you give me a call? Let me know so I can work around your schedule. And this will allow you to do the check-in process, or the VIP. Now, here's a magic phrase that I think would be highly effective, that I think we all have heard before, usually when we make a phone call ourselves. And it might sound like, hey, please arrive 15 to 20 minutes prior to your appointment so that we can complete our check-in process. I'm betting all of you have heard that before, probably when you have gone to the dentist or when you have gone to the doctor. If they do it, why can't we? It's a very simple phrase, and it allows us to complete our check-in process, also known as the VIP. And that way, they are moving right along and their vehicle will actually be in the bay when their appointment time comes up, which will eliminate that problem of having customers come up and say, my appointment was at 10, it's 10:05. Why is my car not moved yet? Because I know we've all heard that customer. So maybe we try it out. So what can this statement do for us? Well, it'll allow us to complete that VIP. But better yet, it will allow us time to build that relationship and that rapport with the customers. Maybe we'll get some add-on services as well. Remember the OMM that we can print off when the customer arrives. It allows time for the technician. And we'll hopefully reduce unhappy customers because we haven't started working on their car right at their appointment time, even if they show up 15 minutes late. All right, so when you're closing the call, make sure to schedule the appointment. Verify the customer's information, name, phone number, vehicle. We don't necessarily need their address and email address, and we don't necessarily have to start a ticket right then and there. In DST, we can click the schedule button and block off an appointment time. We don't necessarily have to start a ticket right away. Offer directions and landmarks, especially if there's a lot of big O's on your street. Phoenix, there's one street where there's like 8 big O's. Don't just say the street name. Give landmarks. People know landmarks. Few people know streets. Don't forget to ask me about your financing options when you get here. We have plenty to choose from. And always thank the customer for calling and use their name when you thank them. Build that rapport. So when they show up, you're already one step closer to making a recommendation. And provide options. So let's recap that just a little bit. Engage the customer by using their name throughout the entire call, including at closing. Always ask, how does that sound, to determine the next step. It's a great probing question. Do not get bogged down with the details like conventional, semi, full synthetic. Invite them into the store if it's getting too complicated. We can figure it out there. Always use open-ended questions to understand their customer's concern. What really is going on? And then provide options for the customer's appointment. Customers love options. Now, I'm a firm believer, this is a lot of work, a lot of thought processes. So maybe we can simplify all of this just a little bit. When you're in your store, maybe you just think of 3 simple questions. When you hang up the phone, and maybe even during the phone call, 3 simple questions you can ask yourself. Who is this calling? Who am I talking to? Did I get their name? What's the reason for their call? And then when are they going to come in? Did I set an appointment? What time is their appointment? And actually, better yet, maybe we can do some OTJ, on-the-job training. Every time one of your counterparts hangs up the phone, why don't you look over at them and say, hey, who was that? What do they want? When are they coming in? If we can answer those 3 questions every single time we hang up the phone, I think we'll start getting that 10% conversion. I think we'll start getting that potentially $300,000 more per year. It's a good potential amount. So think about that. Think about your OTJ. And don't forget, managers, owners, you have Marchex available at your fingertips. You can listen to these phone calls. You have reports right there on Marchex website that you have access to. If you need information on that, contact your FBC and get your login and password. Thank you. What questions do we have from the participants today? Good stuff.
Yeah, I don't have any necessarily. One thing that I threw in with my people that I think struck a chord with them. We say it all the time, right? Sell the visit.
Yeah.
I don't think people think of it like selling sometimes. Like, all you guys are salespeople. You can
Yeah.
sell a $2,000 ticket. Why can't you sell the visit without selling anything else? Look at it like you're selling a big ticket. All you're doing is selling them coming down. And it
That's it.
simplifies it for them, I think.
Absolutely. I love it.